Alright guys, so welcome back to another Patreon request, and as always, if you'd like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon where you guys can send me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But this one comes from John McKinney, and this is by far probably one of the strangest videos I've done for a while. I've basically done a lot of weird videos. And I don't normally do a lot of these because a lot of them are really outlandish, and I'm like, why? But McKinney's been a supporter for a while, so I figured I kind of owed him this, even though it's completely whack-ass. I'm not going to lie. Also, I'm very much in a foul mood because of a migraine, so I apologize for that. Anyway. Yes, so as you can see, this is going to be probably one of the weirdest crossovers in a while, and that is Superman, Spider-Man, and Ed, and Eddy. Yes, you heard that right. This is Superman, Spider-Man, Ed, and Eddy. So this basically is going to be pretty crazy. Now, to reference as to what Spider-Man and Superman this is the 90s cartoon, this is the animated series Superman and the animated series Spider-Man. So this is the 90s cartoons versions of those meeting Ed, and Eddy. This is going to be something. So let's begin with our story. So the story is that essentially what's going on is that we open up with Peter Parker, who's been investigating Oscorp for a bit. Spider-Man's been more or less seeing that there's been these new spider slayers that have been created, these new spider slayers that are being created, but the technology there is a little advanced even for Oscorp's, even by Oscorp standards. So Spider-Man is curious about what these new spider slayers are, so he web slings in and discovers he's working with Lex Luthor. We're kind of gonna for this story, we're kind of gonna go for a kind of like the classic Marvel DC Superman Spider-Man crossovers, where it's basically the DC and Marvel universes existed simultaneously on the same Earth. That's what we're gonna do here. It's actually part of the DC multiverse. Look it up. So in this story, Superman and Spider-Man are both kind of working on different angles, because what they discover is that Oscorp and LexCorp are working together on a new kind of spider slayer they want to sell to they want to bring to the military. The military, however, said no, so what they plan to do is sell it to like Cadmus and other scrupulous groups that would want these, because these can not only be used to hunt to harm the likes of Spider-Man and Superman, these things can also be used to attack and essentially just morally harm, not morally, but also like physically harm other superheroes. So they're basically meant to be an army of hero-hunting robots, mixed of LexCorp and Oscorp. However, there's a bit of a problem, because during a transport, the master controls for the system that controls the robots kind of fell through, ended up somewhere where it shouldn't have been. This thing ended up right where the last place you'd think it should be. Basically, during a transport, a storm happened, and the truck came off the road. It fell off, and the controls rolled down a hill and ended up in a junkyard. A certain junkyard in a little town of Peach Creek. So, this is where the Eds come in. So the Eds at this point, Ed, and Eddy have basically been rummaging around the junkyard. They've basically been rummaging around the junkyard for something, for a new scam. And actually, funny enough, involving robots to sell, like robot servants to create and sell. And this is where Double D discovers the control device for the new Lex Slayers, the Lex Slayers as they're being called. So the Lex Slayers control device is discovered by Double D, and he's curious about it. So he's like, odd little contraption. Maybe it'll make for an interesting little science project on the side. We'll see. So he takes the device home. Meanwhile, at the same time, Spider-Man and Superman are eventually their paths have crossed, and now they both kind of like they both meet up with each other, because Spider-Man's like, yeah, this is dealing with LexCorp, so I'm bound to run into Superman at some point. And Superman actually is like, yeah, hey, what's up? So Spider-Man and Superman meet, and they're like, yeah, we should probably work together on this if LexCorp and Oscorp are building something that can harm the likes of the Avengers and the Justice League. This calls for, kind of alarm here. However, during it, they actually break into a warehouse, and that's when they discover that they hear a conversation between Lex and a recorded conversation that was left behind after breaking into the warehouse, that Osborn and Luthor were arguing over the lost control device. So they're plenty pissed about all of this. They are very pissed off about everything about this. So they're like, cool, let's find this control, and this will be easy peasy. We can just destroy it there. However, the Double D is, of course, finagling with the device. He's basically been finagling with the machine and the control device, and is now inadvertently activating the Lex Slayers at this point. He's activating them. He's bringing them to life. He's doing all of these things. And yeah, and when I say there's a lot of Lex Slayers, there's a lot, because there's different warehouses, there's different areas, and they're all being woken up by Double D's, tinkering with the control device. However, the robots aren't exactly competent because they're just running around, just shooting at anything. So Superman and Spider-Man have to team up to deal with these Lex Slayers. It also puts the kibosh on the plan in general. That's kind of the thing, is that the Eds are basically running around with this control device, while Superman and Spider-Man are basically oblivious for the majority of this story, where they're just completely oblivious to everything going on. However, that changes when Osborn and Lex send a mixture of Parasite and the Rhino to retrieve a combo team of Parasite and the Rhino to retrieve the device after they find it in Peach Creek, and they think it's some kid who's stolen it from them, and they'll take it back by force. About this time, however, Superman, of course, Clark and Peter discover this and also head to intercept this. And yeah, it's just, I'd love to have this fun moment where they jump in right at the moment where Parasite and Rhino are like, kids, this is going to be quick, but it's going to be very painful. And Eddie's like, I don't like either. I like only one of those things. and Ed's like, is it pain? No, Ed. So that's about that time when Clark and Peter, arrive, and as your typical crossover, it'd be this fun moment where you switch the villains with the different heroes. So Spider-Man takes on Parasite, nice little reference to the god-awful second Superman-Spider-Man crossover, and of course Superman takes on Rhino, and Rhino's all like, Man of Steel, huh? You ain't nothing, and just breaks his hand on Clark's chin. And Clark was like, I don't normally attack rhinos, endangered species. For you, I'll make an exception, and just flicks him across Peach Creek. So that's when Double D discovers that this is this is the device, this is dangerous, and proceeds to activate the kill switch on the Master Control and kill all the Lex Slayers, effectively ending the alliance between Oscorp and LexCorp. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much one of the oddest crossovers I've been given. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? And once again, thanks John McKinney for this crossover. You guys, and as always, if you guys would like to have a video done here on YouTube, just hit the link below. Head on over to my Patreon, where you guys hit the 4th tier, and you guys can start sending me videos for me to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.